All right, guys, I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to do a couple examples for you just to make sure that you're on the right track. So the first thing I want you to do is to write out what this is going to look like. All of our answers should look like f of x equals a sub 1 divided by r times r to the x. All right, remember a sub 1 is our first term, r is the common ratio, and these two numbers should be the same. All right, let's look at this. For the first one, we know that our answer has to be f of x equals. We're going to have the first number over the second number, so negative 2 over 6 times 6 to the x. Now, normally this would be our final answer, but I want you to look at this fraction. If the fraction can be reduced, it must be reduced. So for our final answer, it's going to be f of x equals negative 1/3 times 6 to the x. You know that the common ratio is the base that's attached to x, so that's 6. My y-intercept is negative 1 over 3, so it's 0, negative 1/3. Okay, let's try another one. Everything starts as f of x equals. It's a sub 1 over r, so you should have 4 over 3 times 3 to the x. My y-intercept is 0, 4/3, and r is 3. If you have not finished this worksheet, I want you to go ahead and pause right now, work through the problems, and then come back to check your answers. Okay, let's go with this. So I know that when I make my y-intercept, it's going to be negative 4 over 4, which is equal to negative 1. So this is f of x equals negative 1 times 4 to the x. Bear in mind, you cannot rewrite this as negative 4 to the x. It has to be written as negative 1 times 4 to the x. My ratio is 4, and my y-intercept is 0, negative 1. Here, my y-intercept is 3 over 3, which is 1. So f of x equals 1 times 3 to the x. Or this could only be f of x equals 3 to the x. And the reason is because when you multiply by 1, it's redundant. You don't have to write that. My y-intercept is 0, 1, and my common ratio is 3. Here I've got f of x equals negative 3 over 5 times 5 to the x. My y-intercept is 0, negative 3 over 5, and my common ratio is 5. For number 6, f of x equals negative 2 over 5 times 5 to the x. Y-intercept is 0, negative 2/5, and common ratio is 5. For number 7, my y-intercept, negative 2 over 4, is equivalent to negative 1/2. So f of x equals negative 1/2 times 4 to the x. Y-intercept 0, negative 1/2. Common ratio is 4. 8, my y-intercept is 2 over 6, which is equivalent to 1 over 3. So f of x equals 1/3 times 6 to the x. Y-intercept is 0, 1/3, and common ratio is 6. Number 9, f of x equals negative 4 over 3 times 3 to the x. Y-intercept is 0, negative 4/3, and common ratio is 3. Number 10, f of x equals negative 2 over 3 times 3 to the x. Y-intercept is 0, negative 2/3, and common ratio is 3. This for the last two. My y-intercept here, 2 over 2, which reduces to 1. So f of x equals 1 times 2 to the x, or just 2 to the x. Y-intercept is 0, 1, and my common ratio is 2. Last one, f of x equals negative 4 over 5 times 5 to the x. Y-intercept is 0, -4/5, and common ratio is 5.